Welcome back to Flash Fiction Fridays. I'm Teresa Garcia, or Amehana Arashi, and thank you for your patience during my short hiatus to mourn Mama Cat.
And also my sister Lacy. And also, as of just a few days ago, my aunt. Now, Lacy's direct family is still doing a fundraiser to help further offset the costs of her funeral because her death was highly unexpected. I mean, we in the Dreaming Twilight server had said goodnight to her, and then in the morning we wake up to find that she's no longer here. And that just really took everybody's legs just straight out from underneath them. And then my aunt passing, even though I was braced for that because I knew it was coming, still hits pretty hard. If you would be so kind, please check out Lacy's GoFundMe, Friendship Beyond Life. That's www.gofundme.com/The Magic of Friendship Beyond Life. And those words are all separated by not underscores, but dashes, as they still have some other associated costs that need to be taken care of. Right now, they have raised $5,227 of their $6,404 goal. And Ilya still needs help with his medical bills for his own GoFundMe, www.gofundme.com/surgery is magic.
Today you may notice a change in the audio quality as I am not recording in my room or out in the front room, but I am currently seated at my son's desk, which places me nearer to the creek. There is a good reason for me recording here, but I do not care to share it at this point in time. Today I am recording for Flash Fiction Friday a story I wrote called Connection that I posted last Friday, but just did not get a chance to record. So, Connection. She hung above the field, sprawling invisibly over pools and flows of chi that met here. The Empress listened to the land, its heartbeat, felt the pulse in the veins above and below the ground, watched the sway of the hairs that were the various plants of fields and forests, and those below and within the waters. So too did she watch the various people of this land under her care, and felt the presence of its mana beast somewhere off to the north. The energy of her mate roamed somewhere outside the bounds of the capital city, picking his way in search of who knew what. As she drifted here and melded with the land in the manner she had done with her homeland, she pondered the differences and similarities of the two. The storm kami flexed her draconian coils as she puzzled on how she was to fit in. She loved it here and cared for all of the people and creatures. She gave her blessings freely. She had yet to discover someone here that did not deserve some sort of blessing, even if she did not necessarily like everyone. It was natural for her to let her particular light spread through the land and encompass everything in her coils. And yet, she was an outsider and knew it. She recognized the looks of discomfort most within the palace walls wore. Much of the time in the palace she chose to use her human form, though she had come in the form balanced between her human and dragon selves. The Empress knew that she would have to watch her back. Rulers always had to. She wasn't sure she was a very good ruler, and she did not feel she was really given the chance the way the chancellors puffed and ran everything. She studied the culture, history, and people as much as she could, until she would reach the point where she would have to draw out here to recover. The wilds, occupied by the rhythm and dance of the harvest, was where she could recharge. Even when she had been bound by a true human body, before it had died and been entombed in a secret place, she had never truly understood people. The Empress bowed her head, slipped into the trance of the Miko to rest, and flowed with the land in its ancient dance. Her heart welled with all her worries, hopes, and fears, flowing from her into land and sea. From her lips fell the chants of purification, each syllable a raindrop sweeping away impurities. A mist formed around her and hung over the field as she looped. Hitodama popped to life and floated around her, dancing with her. The dragon danced all the things any civilization required: health, a reasonable degree of wealth, creativity, protection, advancement, remaining in attunement with the land. The dragon jolted back to herself when she felt the touch of a small hand. How had anything woven up to her without her knowing? Unless this little being was no threat. Her scales and plumage laid back down, but her head wings remained poised to defend her head if necessary. Carefully she brought her head down level with the child. Said child, a little girl in the curious and embroidered garb of this land, looked up at her with big eyes. "What can I do for you, little one?" Her lips curled in a gentle smile as she focused further on what was before her, instead of being spread out across the land. "Empress? The girl stammered, still holding her gaze. There was no fear, none of the revulsion some had for her, and an altogether different sort of awe than those who pawed her in passing for blessings. It was awe, though. She sat and waited for the girl. "Are you sad, Empress?" She blinked. "A little. I am still adjusting." Would you like to come share some of my food? Your mate thought you might be hungry. I have plenty. Mom always sends too much with me when I tend the sheep." She looked around, saw her mate watching at the top of a nearby hill. Sheep grazed contentedly, unbothered by her presence and seemingly enjoying it. That was unlike back in her homeland. The child's hand extended to her, palm turned to the side. Not seeking, inviting. "Yes, I think I would, if there is enough." She shifted to her anthroform and placed her hand into the girl's, then allowed herself to be drawn. "You're a good dancer, Empress. Do you think that someday I might be so light?" She tilted her head and regarded the girl, surprised by the double meaning she felt there. "Child, have you considered that you already are?" The Empress settled beside her mate and shook her head at the question in his eyes. And there ends connection. And that is set in a world shared with a very special someone, from a story that began long, long ago. Now, I hope to at least keep Flash Fiction Fridays weekly. I'm not so sure about a Sunday story every week, and I'm not so sure about an interview every week. It may end up that I end up having to go back and forth between interviews and stories because of energy, time, and workload. Until next time, I'm Teresa Garcia. This has been Flash Fiction Fridays, and I'm signing off apparently with a lap full of cat. Good night.